All right, guys, so today we are going to be changing the coolant in our 240Z here. So we have our air vac coolant refiller there. So we're going to go ahead and drain it out. We'll take the pan off the bottom and hopefully crack the block drain open. I'm going to turn the heat to full heat right now, so, since it's a mechanical valve, just so we drain out of the heater core as well. And we're going to go ahead and take the bottom pan off, which is a steel pan, steel front pan, and it's at 8mm. So we're gonna go ahead and take that off and we'll get it draining. All right, so we are gonna take these 8s off. Not sure exactly how many that there is. But we'll let you know here. We're going to add the extension on here. All right, so that's 3 up front and 3 on each side. So it looks like we were actually missing one there, so. All right, moving to the other side. And we're missing that same one on this side too, so. Alright, so the pan is off. Get our stuff out of the way here, and coming over to the radiator petcock here on the bottom. I'll go ahead and undo this. Alright, and just like on the other car, we will crack the radiator cap. And make a mess. Okay guys, so the block plug is over here. I don't know if you can see down there, but the light is on it. See if we can just maybe magnet that. There we go. So that is the block plug there. So we're going to see if that will come out easily. See what that is. It's a pretty good size plug. So it is not a 19. Okay, so basically these aren't going to fit very well, but we can at least get a size reference while we're here, and then get a socket. I believe it's 22. All right guys, so we cracked the block drain with a pretty long extension and a breaker bar. So now we should just be able to get it the rest of the way with the ratchet. And that is a 22 millimeter. So I want to take this totally out since our coolant catch can's over there. But we will in a minute. So in the meantime, while we are letting that drain, what we are going to do is mix our coolant to use with our air vac in our bucket here. All right, so we have a gallon of our coolant and a gallon of distilled water. So go ahead and mix these so we can dilute it 50-50. All right, we are using, this is a, I don't think they even make this anymore, Peak Global Lifetime, supposed to be able to be mixed with anything. And I'm not sure what's in there. So I wanted something that would mix with something else and not have any issues. So we will switch that out soon. Not soon, but at regular intervals. And then we just have a gallon of distilled water. All right, and we'll mix those together with something to stir it. Okay guys, so the coolant stopped draining there, so we're going to close off the radiator petcock here. And then we will move the drain pan over to the block drain and see what we get out of there. All right guys, so we're going to go ahead and put the coolant plug back in there, so into the block. So we'll thread this in and just snug it down. Okay, and then we'll cinch that back down. Okay, now that's there. And we'll go ahead and start the refilling process. Okay guys, so we're going to use our air vac system here. So first thing we're going to do is find the right size adapter for our radiator. Let's see, that one looks like it might do the job. Let's just make sure there's not one that's better. That one's a little too big. That one's better. Nice tight fit. 42 millimeter it says. So we're going to use that one. All right, so we are going to bleed the air out of the system first with our evac kit here. And then we will refill it from the bucket and purge the lines. So first off, I am going to get our vacuum kit in here, just a little coolant around there to help it a little more easily go into the radiator. All right, so we are going to tighten that up, and it'll put a nice snug fit on there. Okay. Hook up our air. And we'll start drawing a vacuum here. And when we start drawing this in, I'll purge the line out and have an assistant help hold this in the water. So we'll stir our coolant with that. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and draw a vacuum on the system here, and we should start to see these radiator hoses close up. Okay guys, so now you can see our vacuum gauge going up. We should hopefully get to about 24. Assistant, can you come and hold the hose in the bucket? So while the hose is submerged, we are going to purge this line here and get coolant up here. There's a little bit. Okay, you can see our hoses collapsing here. So our gauge isn't moving a whole lot more, so we're going to go ahead and close off the vacuum and draw in our coolant. Okay, and you guys can see the gauge going down there. We're almost there.
Alright, it's getting close. Okay, stop. You have a little bit more, as you see.
Okay guys, so our vacuum gauge went down to 0. We sucked in all the water here. We put a vacuum on this just a couple more times just to make sure we got all the air out of there, and we did. So now we are going to go ahead and disconnect our air line. And we will slowly remove this. Alrighty. We're going to take our adapter out, see where our level of coolant is. All right, and we're right up to the neck there. So let's see if we shouldn't have any air. I can hear the thermostat clicking around, so we're going to start it and let it get up to temp, make sure we got heat and any bubbles coming out of there, and we'll let you guys know how it turned out. But so that's what we did there, was pulled the vacuum, purged the air out of the line on the system, and then once the hoses collapsed, vacuumed the coolant back in, and we're hoping that we have no air bubbles and we should get some heat here in a minute. So we're going to start it up and we'll let you know.